also, last week's episode, we had to end prematurely because the guests we just lost them. they they couldn't reconnect, and I was like, well, we're ending the show. So that's it. So we'll see if we start like that. Are you on a handheld camera right now for our audience, for our listeners? John has gone full shaky cam.
Just on my camera, on my phone camera.
Yeah, he's gone full shaky cam. It's a little nauseating for me, but we're good.
If it's not getting published, hey, it won't hurt anything, right? Hold on, let me see if I can. I'll prop it up.
No, this is more fun. It's like an action movie. This is the Experience Podcast with me and someone else.
I'm John Roberts.
John Roberts is back. We had I told John before we started recording, we had a last minute, he texted me at like 7:30. He's like, hey, tonight's not a great night. I'm like, well, we're already going. We're rolling. We're pushing through it. I think last time you were on, we had a cancellation. Didn't we? Didn't this happen before?
I'm trying to remember. I don't think it was me that canceled last time, but yeah.
No, I don't mean you, but while you were on, it was supposed to be three of us, and that ended up just being you and me. It might have been Blake again. So it's been Blake. I'm calling him out. Blake did it again. So I think he just doesn't like you, John. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you got to put him on blast.
Yeah, well, he's got a final tomorrow, so he didn't study.
That's worse.
It's weird that he just remembered, but it'd be funnier if he. Is that how you do school, right?
Oh, sorry. What's that? You cracked up a little bit.
Oh, see, it is my Wi-Fi. I said you're probably closing up another year. You're probably closing up another year of school, right?
Yep. My first year of medical school, I'm closing it up.
Yeah. Okay, I thought this was your second, or maybe it's been so long. The year has been long.
Yeah.
It feels like you've been in medical school for like 3 years now, doesn't it?
Oh, no. I mean, it felt like that for me too, yeah, but it's only been, this is my second semester, so to speak. They call them blocks here for some reason. It seems kind of pretentious, but.
Have you, blocks, but they're still 2 a year, right?
Right. So it's stupid, but I don't know.
Because some schools do the trimester thing where they squeeze 3 in.
Yeah, no, they don't do that. They just split up blocks into like a few modules, like 3 or 4 modules per block. It depends, I guess.
Oh gosh, this is sounding like I don't know what. This is sounding very futuristic or something. They put modules into blocks, and then it's like a techno movie or something.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's stupid. They should just stick to semesters.
And that's going well, I assume. Do you have finals coming up? Is that soon or past?
Something of the sort. Yeah, they're going to do a cumulative in a couple of weeks.
Cumulative in a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and you don't have, so for PhD, so you're going to walk me through this. PhD students have, quals and all that sort of stuff. It's different from medical school, right?
Maybe. I'm not sure. I never went into a PhD program.
Yeah.
And I know they have a combined like MD PhD program or something. I never really looked into that though. Yeah, so I'm not sure. I'm not the right person to ask, but there are several people who.
That sounds like. You say that sounds like twice the amount of work for the same output.
Yeah. Some people love to have the MD, MPH title instead of just an MD title, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of dumb. I don't really. I'm just going to be patient, whatever.
Yeah, you're doing whatever. I stumbled across someone's resume, and I guess they have a master's degree. So they put their name, for example, John Roberts, comma, master's at the top of their resume.
Yeah.
Like they put their degree. I'm like, I was like, am I supposed to be doing that? Are you gonna? It's not, but it's not like a doctorate. It's just a master's. Do other people put, whatever name, bachelor's?
Yeah, I don't know. See, that's the thing too. I feel kind of like I'm at at a deficit compared to a lot of these other people because I didn't do anything after college. I just went straight into medical school. I don't have any research to my name, anything, period, nothing.
You didn't do any undergraduate research?
Nah, I didn't.
Every time? No, didn't. Too much. So do most people came in with something under their belt, basically, is what you're saying?
It seems like it, but at least this summer, I mean, each summer people tend to do something who are in medical school. So I'm planning on doing some, clinical hours, like, following people around who are doctors, and I'll do a short clinical case study, hopefully. So I'm looking at the end of the summer. So I'll at least have some experience for my second year, and then I'll be able to do probably some better research. We'll see.
So what do people, I guess you kind of answered it already, what people do in the summer, like in between blocks, if you will, for medical school? And it's basically doing the equivalent.
You tend to you try to make sure that you can quote something that you had done. Like you try to make it, clear that you hadn't just slacked off for the whole summer. Because that's obviously a bad sign for residencies. Pretty much, if you're trying to get into a residency, that's what you do. That's like, it's kind of like on the job training for after you have your MD, just like, so after that, you're just pretty much trying to get into a place that will trust you to do hard work for a few years. That's the idea. So if you go a whole summer without doing shit, then they're going to be like, oh, why should we trust this guy? He's not.
That's more of a reputation builder.
Right. That kind of thing. It's kind of like applying to college, like to the third degree,
And you're probably it gives you a chance to earn some money in the summer too, right? To help pay the bills, that sort of thing.
Not necessarily.
Okay. Well, maybe.
You'll at least be able to earn some money during residency. They will pay you at least a small amount, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of like applying to, high school to college is similar to college to medical school, where, it's like narrowing the crowd down even further. And then medical school to residency is even more narrow. A lot of people might not make it into a residency anywhere across the country. So you have to keep applying sometimes, especially if it's a competitive field. Yeah.
So how often do people just, that's where they stop? They get through medical school and they just can't get a good residency or one that they think matches them.
Sure.
And then...
I'm not sure, actually. I mean, I figure that kind of qualifies you to do, at least I would think you could do teaching in some kind of field. Some place might hire you to just teach stuff as an MD without a residency. But yeah.
It's weird, right? Like you feel like that's, once you get to medical school, it's the point of no return, right? You can't, just stop. It's kind of the whole process or nothing. You can't just do some of it.
Yeah. I guess it's one of those things where it's like, you could have a college degree and still not have the qualifications to become, some kind of engineer for, I don't know, a nuclear reactor or something. You could go to college and then get a degree in like how nuclear reactors work, but you still won't really necessarily know how to how to do your job as an employee at a nuclear reactor without some kind of training, right? It's one of the things. It's kind of like on the job training, like for 3 straight years. You're just kind of they're kind of trying to train you to see everything that you would tend to see in your practice, over the course of 3 years with someone kind of mentoring you. That's the kind of idea. So it just kind of keeps, the public a bit safer, so you're not seeing someone fresh out of school.
And based off of that, you would assume, sorry, I got a thing on my phone. You would assume that everyone would make it to some sort of residency, right? Like it shouldn't be in an ideal world, it shouldn't be this cutthroat thing. Like I understand it's going to be competitive because there's better ones, maybe locations, stuff like that, right? But it still shouldn't be cutting down. There shouldn't be a cut rate.
I mean, it's like college. I mean, it's like college. If you don't get into the good college that's competitive and really high, really high level, then you're going to have to settle for a field that you don't like. Either that, or you're going to have to wait a whole nother year to apply again for the competitive place that you want. Because it's like some fields are way more competitive than others. Like orthopedics or I mean, I think orthopedics is one of the highest earning fields. A lot of times what makes fields hard to get into is just the earning potential of them. So orthopedics is probably one of the highest earning fields, and it's damn near impossible to get into one unless you have a fair amount of research and, good credentials, that kind of thing.
Greedy bastards, yeah.
Yeah, it's true. There are only so many orthopedics residencies you can get across the whole country. It's one of those things where you just gotta get in wherever you can,
Yeah.
Apply 30 times, whatever the hell you gotta do, just get in somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. That's our medical school discussion. We have this time all the time, every time we come on, because I'm just fascinated. Both my parents are doctors, so I kind of lived, obviously not through when they went through, but I kind of hear this stuff a lot.
I never realized that. What do your parents do each? What fields are they in?
Oh boy, I think we've had this We've definitely had this conversation. We have to.
It's probably just been too long. Yeah, I might have.
It's been 2 podcasts ago. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
My mother is still practicing. She's a neonatologist, right?
Oh, okay.
So for the kids at home, it's sick babies, right?
Right.
She's the one that sits in the side chair when you're giving birth, just in case something goes wrong. Right. And then my dad, he doesn't practice anymore. He's worked for the FDA right now, but doing a similar thing. He was a nephrologist.
Oh, nephrology. Okay.
Yeah. So now he does medical reviews for the FDA, but still doing renal stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
The same thing, but no longer. He was sick of seeing patients, and you can imagine just the hours and the stress and all that kind of added up for him. And
yeah, my dad is very particular about how he got kind of put in the perfect field for himself. Though his personality, he got into ophthalmology, which is it's like optometry, but slightly higher level where you can do more surgeries and stuff like cataract surgery. It's more complex. So he was able to do ophthalmology seems to really kind of, black sheep among most fields. And then you can do, it's almost like half and half. Half, seeing people in your office and, testing stuff, getting them glasses, whatever. And the other half is surgical. It's not 100% surgical or 100% clinical or medical, whatever you call it, where you're just seeing people in your clinic and giving them meds and stuff. It's half and half. So you get a good lifestyle too, where you get good hours. You can kind of decide on your own how much you're willing to do. He knows a person in Macon who is doing he makes more than $1 million per year because he just sees so many people.
It's kind of like choosing.
Get a lot of
freedom. Working your own overtime, essentially, right?
Yeah, you get a lot of freedom to just decide, okay, I'm going to see this number, or you know what, I don't want to see children and deal with strabismus, where eyes aren't lined up correctly, and you have to deal with aligning the eye muscles and all that surgery, which rarely seems to end up very ending up very properly. You often have problems from that, complications, or it doesn't perfectly line up, that kind of thing. It's you can just decide, okay, you know what, I'll refer them to this person, and then I'm going to do surgery I like doing, like cataract surgery. That's very simple, 10 minutes per surgery, you're in and out, they couldn't see before, you operate on them, then they walk out being able to see. It's like boom, you're a god, basically. You're good. They have a problem, you fix it 100%, and then they're just good from then on. It's one of those things.
I have a question, and I don't want to get too political here.
Yeah.
But sure. It's anecdotal. Is it too? Oh, you good? Is it too expensive to go see a doctor on the patient side?
I mean, it seems to be one of those things which is debated, where it's you often hear about places where there's socialized healthcare, Canada or whatever. They always say that it's oh, well, yeah, it's cheap to see a doctor, but if you want to see a fucking doctor, you're going to have to wait 3 months, and by then, whatever condition you probably had is going to be either cleared up or will have killed you. It's one of those things where at least in the U.S., money can buy you care, I don't know. It's like one of those things where there's no proper solution for every single case, right?
I bring this up because I saw a dermatologist because I had like this thing under on my arm. I didn't think it was anything, but I was like, let me just make sure because any kind of weird spot, you know. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I went. I was like, I'll just go see a dermatologist. Easy. It wasn't even. It was a physician's assistant. We can get into that later. But trying to pull up the bill, but I'm talking like I was in there for like I walked in, I sat on the bench or whatever. A nurse comes in, she's like, "What?" Takes your information, whatever. Leaves. This assistant immediately comes in, says, "Well, let me see it." Looks at it and says, "Oh no, that's nothing. It's a stretch mark," which I was pretty sure what it was. And she's like, "Yeah, don't worry about it." And then I left. Like the whole ordeal, 15 minutes. And I'm trying to pull up the bill, but I'm talking hundreds of dollars. Yeah. It was like I think it was like $400. And I was like, Jesus. I should have asked John.
We actually did just have our dermatology. We had a week for dermatology just to learn about it. Yeah, for exams.
Dermatology is always like nuts, and I have like eczema problems as well. So like that's why like I wanted to just make sure. I've had other skin issues. So there's a personal history here, but
I saw my primary care physician for something weird on the back of my calf. I'd always I guess I'd kind of done a bad job. Like, we were both in marching band. I had done it all throughout high school too. One of those things, they're just repeated exposure. I had super tan calves. I barely ever put sunscreen on, and it almost looked like actinic keratosis. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's like this pinkish sort of lesion that can develop into cancer like later on if you don't treat it.
Sounds familiar.
But I got that. Yeah, I got that burned off. It's pinkish, flaky, scaly, dryish. But it's like you can peel it all you want and it still stays there. That's one of the things, I had that. It's weird for me to have it at such a young age, but it could have been something else. Anyway, my primary care physician had it burned off. I thought that was kind of cool. They use I believe it's liquid nitrogen. They spray it on there and it makes a huge blister. And then your skin, it takes that part of your skin all the way off. It separates, right? And then your skin heals over that spot, and then it's like it was never there in the first place. All that skin just sloughs off.
It doesn't scar over? Because it sounds like you're just intentionally.
No, actually, no. I'm even looking at it right now. Yeah, no, not even the slightest scar. It just made a huge blister for like 2 or 3 days, and it was gone, like gone.
That's quick, because that's a quick blister cycle, right? Blisters usually stay around for a while.
Oh yeah. It was like a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch probably off my skin, like depth.
Because like when you say it, it sounds ridiculous. They're like, I just hit the spot. They just blasted it, giant blister. It was a mess, and then 2 days later, it was nothing. It was never there. I'm like, what?
It might have been close to like 5 or 6 days before it was.
Okay, but still,
still, it was quick.
I mean, I have paper cuts that take longer to heal and still leave like a scar. Like that's what I'm getting at. Like the fact that you've got nothing is pretty remarkable.
That reminds me too of I have actually I think it was about a week ago. I cut my finger really bad. I was cutting up vegetables, being stupid with a knife that I had just sharpened to get like ultra razor blade sharp. I don't know if you've ever done that before. I haven't ever really given myself a really bad cut, I've given myself like a paper cut while cutting vegetables, but nothing like this before. And you know what? That knife was so damn sharp. It was practically like a surgical incision where if I just kept it wrapped in gauze for a few days, boom, it was just about healed. I mean, and I took a little flap of my skin up too, but it's pretty much healed. It feels kind of like a blister, where the flap of skin is, it got taken up a bit. It just feels like, slightly reduced sensation. Apart from that, it's good. Week later, boom, it's healed. It was bleeding like a motherfucker, too. I swear, 30 minutes to an hour, I was holding constant pressure on it, way over my head. It was still bleeding. And
I have to apologize to our sensitive listeners.
Yeah, sorry. No, hey, well,
filling your sink with blood. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it ended up very good. You can barely see it now if I hold it up to the
fingers.
You
and again, I'm not.
It's like a little pad of skin.
Yeah, I can see it. It's like it's got a little like a bump or whatever. The fingers, and I'm not the junior medical professional, but fingers do have certain veins and arteries that can if you hit them right, they can really start to bleed. Is that right?
Capillaries. Well, yeah, you'll mostly hit
capillaries. Maybe I'm going for capillaries.
Surface level. I would imagine too. You'll hit a lot of nerves. You're gonna feel
well, yeah, there's tons of nerves.
Cutting your fingers rather than like cutting your heel or something. Yeah, you have many nerves.
Yeah, you got tons of nerves there, but I was just talking about like for volume of blood, like it's almost misleading just because you think, oh, it's just a finger. But
I don't know. I think where it gets more concerning is probably further up the arm. Like they talk about, whether someone, if someone's doing like, whatever, self-harm, trigger warning, I guess. If you go
really just didn't know.
That's not such a concern. Rather than like if you go all the way down from your wrist to your elbow, that kind of. And
I know, like
that can kill you, absolutely. But
yeah, the elbow especially
bleeding out from a finger. Yeah, from a finger, you could just probably put a tourniquet on your wrist or your elbow or something, and then
okay. But who has tourniquets at home?
Yeah, well, no. I'm just saying.
Although I think they are becoming more popular.
Get medical service, and then they're going to put a tourniquet on you, and you're going to be good, probably.
I think just because of the push for like first aid and stop the bleed and all that, I think tourniquets are becoming more popular though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true too. But yeah, I guess I was just kind of talking about. If you're able to seek medical services quickly, it's like if you were to sever the tip of your finger or something, it's like call 911, keep blood pressure on it, and they're going to put a tourniquet on you. I almost guarantee you, and then you'll be good. You're not going to die of blood loss, whatever. You're going to.
They probably would. I guess. Yeah. I was trying to think of like a finger. I guess you would put a tourniquet. Yeah. Anything like that.
Just to keep your blood from flowing out. But yeah, where it gets, like you were talking about being, it being very dangerous, I would say where it becomes dangerous, where like, life-threatening, that would be further down the arm, like the forearm. If you were to do that, like I was saying, from wrist to elbow, that could be very dangerous.
This is a dangerous conversation.
Oh yeah, very dangerous. I do not encourage anyone does any of this.
Yeah, don't try this at all. I will say something that I accidentally do. I'm not saying on purpose, but like the aluminum foil, the sharp edge to rip the aluminum foil off. That gets me like all the time. Get my finger.
Oh,
put
really?
My finger
I've never done that before, actually.
Oh, well, you should try. No. Yeah. It's almost like the knife because that thing is sharp, right? It's almost like mini knives. That the razor edge on the foil thing. That's it's a little more than a paper cut. Like it's a good like couple weeks of until it fully heals.
Oh damn!
I haven't done it in a while, but I've probably done it like 2 or 3 times in the last couple of years. And I'm like, again, just because if you
do you put the top part over that part?
Yeah, no, I do it the right way.
Down? How do you get your finger in there? That's what I want.
I do it that way, but I think what happens is if you get a small enough roll, you now got a flimsy piece, right? The piece is always going to be too flimsy, so I have to move upward. Yeah, it's like it gets, or even when it gets caught in there, and I have to get it out, like getting it out. I'm very clumsy in that respect, though. So I'm trying to. I've cut myself on other similar things, but. It's day-to-day stuff like that that gets me.
Yeah, I don't seem to get many cuts. This is the first time I've gotten a like semi-major, I guess if you call it that, semi-major injury in a long. And that was just because I was being stupid with a sharp knife that I had. I mean, you know what they say? They're like dull knives are way more dangerous than sharp knives because you got to bear down way more. But it's like the idea behind that statement is like you're gonna tend to respect a sharp knife way more than a dull knife. But I wasn't respecting it enough, and I was just being a dumbass trying to get the stem off a pepper, and all of a sudden it shot right down the pepper.
Yeah.
Like it was faster than a knife through butter. Like
I think that's
instantly boom right down.
It's definitely an underrated aspect. Like it's just like people don't not necessarily that they get distracted or whatever, but like you just don't anticipate the impact, and you're not properly
Yeah, and
gauged to
it's
how
all the
thick
way,
what you're
it's
cutting
through your
is.
finger before you fucking think about it. Yeah, it's through your
Yeah,
finger before you think about it. You're like, whoa, what the fuck? How did I do that? It's already like, 10 inches further than I expected. You barely
yeah,
touched it. But
I think yeah.
that's better than trying to work with a dull knife and having to bear down on it constantly and worrying about, it rolling off whatever you're trying to cut because it's too dull, and then, actually getting yourself really bad.
Yeah, I've never sharpened knives, and it's not for these reasons that we're talking about. It's mostly laziness, but maybe this is
Yeah,
I don't know.
right. They make cool knife sharpening systems you can get for like $100. They have a really cool system where,
Is
like, have
is
you heard
that
of
worth it though?
whetstones? I'd say
Of
so.
what?
Have you heard of whetstones?
No.
WHET stones. It's something where you get a bit of water on it and then you rub it over the edge of the knife at the correct angle. They make these systems where it'll hold the stone at the
Hmm.
proper angle, and all you have to do is just drag it back and forth, and it'll keep it at the right angle. You don't have to worry about like maintaining the angle yourself over a huge stone that you have on the table. You just clamp the knife in, and then it'll keep the angle for you with a stone that's like small. And you just drag it back and forth, and you can get knives super sharp that way.
This sounds way too complicated.
It's not that
I
bad. I'm telling you,
I
it's really
I'll, I'll I'll live with my slightly dull knife. It gets the job done. I'm not a professional chef here. I'm just trying to cut my onion.
yeah. Well, you can do a lot too with if it's a good quality knife. If you just grab a leather strop, if you heard of that, something you just
That
drag
sounds
away from
familiar.
the edge
Yeah.
with leather. Yeah. That'll tend to at least keep the edge aligned so it'll cut better, even if you're not like taking metal off it with a strop or sorry with a stone. I've been into straight razors for a while too, so I guess this kind of comes naturally for me. I always shaved with a straight razor. I don't know if have you ever seen a straight razor before?
Yeah, I mean, I see them all the time, but I don't. It's not worth it for
Really
me. I don't
cool.
think.
I have one right here. They
Okay. For the listeners, we're doing a show and tell, and if
yeah
you can imagine, John is picking up a straight razor. We've gone into the knife segment of the show. Yep.
yeah.
That's a decent looking one though too. I don't know
I
how to
got it
describe it
in
other
high
than it's a
school.
straight razor.
It's
High school.
beautiful.
It's got a good gleam to it. It's
Oh yeah, beautiful.
quality, thickness. Uh, Again, I don't know how to describe this for our listeners, but
Yeah.
just use your
You'll
imagination.
be 100% shaved in like 30 seconds. You'll be done. Like,
I was gonna say, I feel like it's quicker.
shower.
Yeah, it's got to
Yeah,
be
it's super
quicker, right?
quick.
So why is
And
it
you
not
get
more
super sharp
popular?
edges too.
Why is
Yeah,
it not more
well, I
popular?
think I think people are afraid of the danger. Like I've once, it wasn't that straight razor, but it was kind of like a, dinky straight razor imitation where it's like, it holds half a razor blade. You know what I mean? It just
Hmm.
clamps down on half a razor blade and you use that. One time I was shaving, I was like, shit, my hair from the back is getting in the way because I had really long hair at that point, and I tried to flick it out of the way without putting the razor down, and I sliced the shit out of my like right under my jawline. I have a scar there. It's probably hard to see in this dim light.
Yeah, you can't see it in the video, but I
It
believe
was
you.
awful. That bled like crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the only time I've really hurt myself with a straight razor. If you respect them, it's like a sharp kitchen knife. If you respect them, you're good. You are good. You're gonna be done quick. You're gonna get everything done you want to do in like record time. You're gonna be good.
It sounds good. Good in like an ideal world, but
You just got to be
it's a lot.
careful and get used to it. There's a certain way you have to hold it too. Like if you're doing one side, you got to flip it around, either that or use your other hand. There's a certain way you just got to get comfortable with it. But yeah, I hate using regular razors now. It's like they're expensive as hell. All you got to do for this, especially if you're getting a blade holder, like a crappy cheap blade holder, it's like $10 on Amazon, and then you grab like 200 blades for like $5, and you're set for like 5-10 years, and then you just respect it. You're good, and you can get super sharp edges, like on your sideburns. You won't have fuzzy edges. You can just put it like exactly where you want it. It will be perfect to a millimeter. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I love those things. I don't know why I'm so passionate about it, but I am.
If only we were all as passionate as you are about the important things in life, you know?
Yeah.
Straight razors. Anything else you want? I didn't think this was where we were going today, but this works, you know?
Yeah, sure. Well, where you want to go? I got a little.
No, I didn't have anything, so that's why this this was good. Again, we lost a third of the crew today. We rescheduled.
Who else was scheduled to show up?
It was just Blake, is what I mean. Yeah, we talked about that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we mentioned that. You got a busy week. We've had some rescheduling. We don't have to talk about what happened this past weekend for you. I don't know. That's a sensitive thing. But anything else you want to bring up?
Well, no, I wasn't super close to the person. I had to go to a funeral. It wasn't a huge.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you made it. You just you like casually brought it in. I'm like, look, if this is a big deal, we can move around it. Don't like.
It was
feed
just
through
more
that.
Transportation for me. It was like I was going to be on the road probably at the time that I had originally scheduled. That kind of thing. So I was scheduling trying to come back all the way up that same day. It was just one of those things. I live so far away from home now.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. I just didn't want to make it seem like the podcast was more important than your personal matter. Which was just like,
no, but I hate to.
John, we'll reschedule it.
If I'd schedule
we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
figure it out. It's not a big deal. We all have busy schedules. It's tough to.
Oh yeah. I'm sure
to get around it. Anything else you want to cover? We can end it. We've gone a decent chunk of time here. It's a school night, so.
Yeah. I got school at 8:45 in the morning. Yeah, I bet you.
I work at 6, so I work at 6 tomorrow morning. So.
Damn.
Yeah. Which really means like.
Else, I'll answer it, but.
I really don't have much here. Covered that. Yeah, you already talked about your summer plans, right? So
yeah.
You'll be around. I think we've covered everything. I don't want to beat a dead horse on all your career stuff because I think we did a good job in the first half and on previous episodes. So.
That's cool. Yeah.
Any
fruitful discussion. I kind of took over the conversation, just talked about whatever I wanted to for like 30 minutes. It's cool.
You're good. That's what the show's supposed to be about. Anything in the summer, like excursion wise? Any trips? Anything like that?
I wish. I'm staying in my current apartment because it was a pretty competitive deal getting my current apartment. It's a decent place. It's not that bad. It's not that expensive, but it's not bad either. It's hard to find a good place in Columbus, honestly. I don't want to risk losing it, trying to move somewhere else for just a summer and then come back and then, all that. I'm just staying in the area, that kind of thing,
Yeah.
Pretty competitive.
Yeah, that makes sense. What did you do in the summers during your undergraduate career?
Well, when I was in college, I just did I did a slightly lighter load of classes because I did a pretty light load of classes to make sure I kept my GPA up pretty high. I graduated with like a 3.7 without really having to bust my ass that hard most semesters. I just kept it light and I stayed on campus the whole year round.
That's a lot.
That's a lot in that regard. I had Phil Miller and my dad helped me out with rent on campus. It was like, damn, why not? Kept my GPA real high. Graduated from Georgia Tech with a competitive GPA and got myself into a med school. So I'm happy with that. But yeah, the only summer I deviated from that was just the summer before med school where I was studying for the MCAT. I busted my ass. I was like a full-time job trying to study for that, but.
I can imagine. Yeah, I got another friend.
Yeah, it's rough. I got a 97%. I was real happy about that. That was hard to do.
Yeah, well, we all can't be as good as you. I think we'll let it there on a high note. Your success.
Yeah,
unless there's something else you wanted to cover on the show.
Or What were you going to say about
complaints.
Your friend before I cut you off?
No, I was saying he was studying for the LSAT, so like similar.
Oh, LSAT, yeah.
Kind of hyper.
Tests. They are a pain in the ass. Yeah. They're so stressful.
A little much. I think we're slowly, as a society, moving away from them, but
yeah, they're becoming more holistic with a lot of them. Absolutely.
There's pros and cons, and there's probably better alternatives. We haven't fully fleshed them out yet. All right. Thanks for coming on, John.
All right. Well, I'll let you go. Yeah. Good talking with you. Let me know whenever you want to talk again.